A significant heat wave likely to impact much of southern and southeastern Australia later this week as temperatures climb into the mid-40s. And we can see that on the heat wave map for the next few days, where we're already seeing heat building across much of Western Australia, where we have large areas of inland WA experiencing severe heat wave conditions in the start to this week, with low intensity heat wave conditions spreading across much of southern and southeastern Australia. But then as we move into the time frame of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're likely to see severe heat wave conditions through much of South Australia, New South Wales and Victoria, with extreme heat wave conditions starting to build across parts of Victoria and New South Wales. But our most concern is the 3-day period running Wednesday through Friday, where we're likely to see extreme heat wave conditions over a huge part of New South Wales and northern Victoria, practically everywhere between Melbourne and Sydney and extending well inland. Now here at the Bureau, we define a heat wave as 3 consecutive days where both the maximum and minimum temperature is well above average for this time of year. And that's exactly what we're seeing across much of southern and southeastern Australia this week. So let's take a look at some of those temperatures. Firstly, we can see today we're already seeing temperatures into the low 40s by 11 a.m. through parts of inland WA today. And we're starting to see that heat build across inland parts of Australia as well. Then as we move into Tuesday, that focus of the heat shifts into still WA, but also now starting to move into inland South Australia and even far southwest Queensland. But then as we move into Wednesday, we'll see temperatures really jump up through our populated parts of southeastern Australia, with even our coastal areas looking at temperatures in the low 40s. That does include Adelaide and Melbourne and everywhere in between. But look at our inland temperatures, where we're seeing temperatures climb into the low to mid 40s. And that's going to continue on Thursday and Friday as well. And that's what's driving that widespread severe to extreme heat wave conditions. Now Thursday, we could see a bit of relief for our coastal areas right on the coast. Within about 10-20 kilometres of coastal areas, you may see a bit of a southerly wind bring some relief. But once you get a bit further inland, we're going to see that heat continue through inland South Australia, inland New South Wales and northern Victoria as well for the second day in a row, with temperatures in the mid and possibly even into the high 40s. Then on Friday, we'll see a stronger change start moving into coastal parts of South Australia during the day on Friday, but a third day of temperatures well into the 40s through inland parts of South Australia, western New South Wales and much of northern Victoria, with that heat then once again reaching our coastal locations in Victoria ahead of that strong and gusty change. And Tasmania also looking at temperatures in the high 20s to low 30s for multiple days, particularly through northern and eastern parts. Now that's the temperatures. Now what do the fire dangers look like in the coming days? Well, thankfully there's not too much wind. We've got some gusty southerly winds today though, through the north country of Victoria, so that's driving extreme fire dangers there, but generally we're looking at high fire dangers for much of South Australia, Victoria and inland New South Wales. Then as we move into Tuesday, it's kind of a bit of a brief day where we're not going to see any major fire conditions and the heat really starts to build through parts of South Australia. Then on Wednesday you can see high fire dangers for all of Victoria, much of New South Wales, with extreme fire dangers likely for many parts of southern South Australia, including the Mount Lofty Ranges, the southeast and parts of the Eyre Peninsula, due to a combination of hot, dry and windy conditions. And then on Thursday, we'll see the focus of those extreme fire dangers move into northern Victoria. And then, you're not seeing it here, but Friday, we're likely to see extreme fire dangers for much of South Australia and Victoria ahead of that strong and gusty change Friday night into Saturday. So with all these hot temperatures and gusty winds later this week, it's important you stay up to date with the latest forecasts and warnings via our website and app. Make sure you prepare for a major heat event through southeastern Australia later this week and into the weekend. And as always, if and when fires do get going later this week, listen to all advice from emergency services, and we'll continue to keep you updated here at the Bureau.